Welcome to sleep with myth. Close your eyes like a night sky folding over itself. Tonight we climb a mountain older than thought, a peak that once believed stone could never change, that mountains do not sleep, do not dream, do not see. But even stone forgets, and even stone remembers. And once a mountain dreamed, before rivers carved their song into the world, before wind learned to speak in the language of storms, there stood a mountain, not tall, timeless, a spine of earth thrust into eternity, a crown of cold and silence. It did not move. It did not bow. It simply watched the sky turn endless colors, and believed this was existence. For what is a mountain, if not patience given shape? Felt no seasons, for it did not count them. Felt no time, for it did not change. It was stone, and stone was forever, or so it thought. One night, if night existed then, a star fell, not like fire, but like a question. It struck the summit gently, as if afraid to wake eternity, and nestled into the stone like a seed of light. The mountain felt something unfamiliar, warmth, not heat, memory of heat, like sunlight remembering itself in cold. The star whispered, not with sound, but with possibility, sleep, and for the first time in all its unmoving life, the mountain closed something like eyes, not of granite, but of presence. The earth inhaled beneath it, the sky held its breath, and a dream silent, ancient, unfurled like mist across timeless rock. The mountain dreamed. It dreamed of falling upward, leaving soil, leaving weight, drifting free like a snowflake that remembered being stone. It dreamed of thunder that spoke in colors, of birds that painted wind with feathers of dawn, of oceans suspended like mirrors above the world. It dreamed of infinity, not distance, but understanding, and in the dream it saw itself not as rock, but as a witness, a watcher, a thinker, a being with memory buried like or beneath centuries. The summit shivered, pebble loosened. To the world nothing changed, but to the mountain everything had. For once a mind imagines motion, stillness is never the same again. The star within it pulsed like a heartbeat, soft, steady, growing. With every dream, the mountain learned. Stone is not silence. Stone is waiting, waiting for something to wake it, waiting for a story to carve itself across its skin. And a story had begun, with a single star, and a single dream. Soon wind would come, soon rivers, soon footsteps of creatures who believed mountains could not listen. And they would be wrong, for stone had tasted infinity, and would never forget. Morning, though the mountain did not yet know the word, came like silver thought across its dreaming stone. Snow glittered like memory. Frost cracked like ancient bones remembering youth. And for the first time since the star nested in its heart, something new touched the mountain's skin. Wind, not violent, not soft, curious. It slid across rock like fingers made of sky, tasting cold, tasting age, tasting change. The mountain listened, not with ears, but through tremor, weight, awareness. A breeze became a sentence. A gust became emotion. A howl became longing. Wind carried voice. Stone carried memory. And when they met, a language was born. The wind circled the summit like thought around revelation. "Why do you dream?" it asked. The mountain did not know how to answer. Not yet, but it felt the question pull like gravity. Stars still whispered inside it, their light flickering with possibility. So the mountain replied the only way stone knows. It crumbled, a single grain falling like a word. Wind caught it, turned it, lifted it toward the sky as if presenting the first syllable of existence. The mountain felt it, a conversation without mouths, dialogue carved into silence itself. Wind brought questions. Stone gave weight to them. Thus meaning began. And then, footsteps, small, soft, alive, not storms, not gods, not mountains, something new. A creature climbed the lower slopes, frail compared to granite, swift compared to centuries. 2 legs, warm blood, eyes bright with need, not knowing why. The mountain sensed something familiar, a hunger for understanding, for height, for horizon. The creature climbed not for food, nor shelter, nor instinct, climbed to see. And the mountain, wide as worlds, felt its heart of starlight pulse like dawn behind its ribs. Because someone was coming, someone who could answer, or ask, or both. Wind spiraled downward in excitement, scattering snow like silver breath. At the summit, the star beat brighter, the dream deepening, sharpening. Stone had waited eons for voice. Now voice was climbing toward it. Night returned, or perhaps it never left. Time still struggled to separate itself. But the mountain no longer stood alone. Snowflake wind whispering wonder. Glowing star starlight dreaming questions. Footprints footsteps drawing nearer. A world waking up like a sleeper remembering its name. And the mountain, once pure silence, felt anticipation for the first time. It no longer wanted eternity. It wanted understanding. By the time the traveler reached the upper cliffs, frost clung to their eyelashes like tiny stars. Air thinned, not with hunger, but with meaning. Every step sounded like thought forming. Every breath felt borrowed from eternity. The mountain felt it, a presence small enough to break, yet brave enough to reach. The star inside the stone pulsed brighter, casting silver veins through granite like dream roots. Wind curled around the climber like a guide, not pushing, not warning, inviting, for wind had waited too. At the summit the traveler stood, gasping like one who sees horizon for the first time. No sound, no bird, no thunder, only endless sky, endless height, and the quiet heartbeat of a mountain trying not to tremble. The traveler placed a hand upon the stone, and the mountain felt touch, not erosion, not weather, recognition, like thousands of years whispering back into itself. The star within it flickered wildly, a dream trying to escape the cage of rock. The traveler leaned close, breath warm against frozen silence, and spoke the first word the mountain ever heard. Hello. It was small, but it was sound. and sound is a door. The mountain tried to answer. Rock shuddered. Peaks cracked like ribs waking after centuries. Snow rolled like white thunder down the slopes. But no words came, only pressure, like meaning too vast to fit through a mortal throat. Wind caught the broken sound, turned it, shaped it, softened it. A whisper escaped the summit, fragile as dawn. Stay! The traveler froze, not in fear but wonder. Stone had spoken, not clearly, not safely, but truly. Every boulder hummed with unspent sentences. The star burned hotter, dreaming through mortal presence. For in the climber's pulse, the mountain felt story, a future, a voice it might share, a mind it might mirror. The traveler knelt, hands pressed flat against ancient granite, as if listening with skin and bone. Below the earth, something deeper than stone awakened, not dream, but consciousness. Mountains do not forget easily, and this one had waited longer than language. Now it wanted to understand, and understanding demands voice, even from stone. The traveler slept on the summit, wrapped in wind like a blanket of invisible feathers. The mountain watched, not with eyes, but with presence, like glaciers watching centuries breathe. The star deep in its core flickered bright, casting dreamlight through rock like veins of molten silver. If mountains could pace, it would have. If mountains could pray, it was praying. For stone held thoughts too heavy to lift into words. Wind stirred snow around the sleeper, shaping drifts like script across granite skin. Speak, it whispered to the mountain. You dreamed. Now tell. Stone strained, a tectonic heartbeat, shaking frost from cliffs like broken syllables. The traveler woke, feeling the tremor like a pulse beneath the world. They placed both hands on the summit, like someone holding a throat that never learned to sing. Try, they breathed. Not command. Permission. The mountain felt the word like rain after drought. Warm. Terrifying. And so it tried. The ground shuddered. Pebbles rolled. Ridges split like pages opening. A low rumble rose from the core, deep as galaxies turning in sleep. Wind caught the sound, held it gently like a fragile bird, shaped it, and a word emerged, first broken, then whole. See, not spoken with lips, but with existence, a syllable carved from bedrock and starlight. The traveler gasped, not at fear, but recognition, for mountains do not speak commands. They speak truth. The sky widened, as if hearing that single word, expanded it. Clouds pulled apart like curtains revealing infinity. The traveler saw it, not horizon, but endlessness, worlds unborn, time unwritten, peaks not yet risen, hearts not yet broken or healed. The mountain had not told them to look. It had told them to understand. And the traveler did. Tears froze on their cheeks like crystal prayers. Immortal, ephemeral as snowfall, now held eternity in their vision. The mountain spoke again, a voice trembling like glaciers learning to melt. More, not demand. Hunger, for knowledge, for language, for connection. Dreams had opened the summit. Words would open the world. The traveler nodded, breath soft as vow. I will teach you. Wind exhaled like a hymn. The star burned like awakening. And the mountain, ancient, immovable, learned hope. Days passed, or moments. Time frayed into threads the mountain could finally feel. The traveler remained at the summit, building a fire that struggled against thin air, like a newborn word learning to stand. Wind swirled around them, gentle as thought, sharp as revelation. The mountain listened, and learning began. The traveler spoke each morning, voice small but persistent, a river carving the world grain by grain. They taught words like pebbles, sky, cold, light, dream. The mountain repeated them not with breath, but with tremor, snow shifting, stone humming, ridges answering like low thunder forming vowels. Wind carried corrections. Fire carried rhythm. Silence carried meaning like ink. Word by word, stone became sentence. On the seventh teaching, or perhaps the 7,000th, the traveler asked, "What do you remember?" A simple question. For a mortal, for a mountain, a vault of centuries. It was an earthquake. The star pulsed, bright as revelation, and the world trembled like a book opening. The answer came not once, but in waves. Snowfall, night, wait, alone. The traveler shivered, not from the cold, but from awe. Mountains were memory, but memory had never spoken itself aloud. The fire crackled, warm punctuation against the endless white. The traveler leaned close, heart hammering like a drum beneath mortal ribs. And now, wind held breath. The summit thrummed. Granite gathered centuries into a single word. Together, not loud, not perfect, but true. Snow fell in applause. Stars leaned nearer as if listening. A language had been born, not of ink or tongue, but of sound carved from silence. The mountain no longer dreamed inward. It dreamed with another, and shared dreams change worlds. Far below, unseen, rivers stirred as if waking to new purpose. Clouds shifted, no longer wandering but watching. Even the horizon felt less like boundary, more like invitation. Stone had spoken. Wind had shaped speech. Human had given it meaning. The world would never be the same, and neither would the mountain. It had learned words. Now it would learn wonder. Winter deepened like ink poured across sky. Snow fell in slow, thoughtful silence, each flake a tiny page turning. The traveler remained at the summit, their breath a ghost among stars. The mountain watched, not with sight, with awareness sharpened by wonder, for it had learned words. Now it wanted meaning. The wind returned first, carrying the scent of far oceans, distant forests, places the mountain had only imagined through dream. "Speak again," it whispered. The star within pulsed like a second heart, each beat a syllable desperate to be born. The traveler placed both hands against the ancient stone, as if steadying the world itself. "Tell me," they said softly, "what do you seek?" The mountain gathered centuries, folding them like mountains fold earth. Ridges tensed, ice cracked, sky leaned in, and then, like dawn breaking granite, meaning, the first truth of consciousness, the traveler trembled, tears bright as snowflakes. They answered, voice small, but strong enough to move eternity. Meaning comes from sharing. The mountain absorbed the words, as roots absorb rain. Sharing, connection, story. Wind spiraled upward, lifting snow like sparks from an unseen forge. The traveler continued, no longer teacher, but equal. Let the world hear you. The star within the mountain bloomed. Not light, memory turned to fire. Granite split. Glaciers glowed blue as dream veins. A hum rose, low at first, then symphonic. Not destruction, expression. And the mountain spoke its first sentence. I was stone. Now I am story. The world exhaled. Oceans surged like applause. Thunder bowed like student to teacher. And stars flickered in acknowledgement. For mountains that dream do not disappear. They become eternal. And the traveler, heart full of dawn, whispered the last word the summit would need. Live, not command. Invitation. And stone accepted it. The peak glimmered like thought made real, pulse steady as creation. And slowly, softly, the mountain dreamed forward, no longer alone. A conversation had begun, between earth and sky, between silence and sound, between existence and understanding, between dreamer and mountain, and infinity listened. Thank you for listening to Sleep with Myth.